Humanity is about to take the greatest leap in consciousness in the history of this planet. Events are occurring at a pace never before experienced, and it is the culmination of all events previously put in motion. Standing in the way of this consciousness evolution is the human enemy of creation. They are trying to contain, control, and hijack the entire destiny of this planet. They have energies and project them for their purposes. Attempt to incorporate wheels within wheels of planning. They have a partial understanding of the cycles of creation. However, they possess a linear thought process and therefore have the lack of true understanding of the evolutionary processes. They don't know what they're evolving towards. Their goal is the enslavement of a remaining population after instigating destruction. They plan to bunker in and wait for the earth to destroy itself, and want to rule a third-dimensional reality in perpetuity, disregarding the will of creation and all the inhabitants of this planet. They want to rebel against the processes of universal light by maintaining outside its focus, and use techniques of manipulation and deceit to perpetuate the illusion to the mass consciousness. Humanity, we have a problem. It's time to wake up and become. And let's do something about this. It's time to realize that we are all spiritual beings existing together in this physical reality. We have been allowed to exercise free will, and that is why we have not been interfered with to this point for the purpose of allowing this experience to culminate. Our spiritual development is being encouraged by all help possible, and we have been given time to break down the illusions that a third-dimensional existence is totality. Acknowledging, accepting the creative energy that is you is a desired end goal. It is time to end this collective spiraling dissension and return towards the light. This experiment, which has been endorsed by creation, is pushing the limit of experience ever further, and is why we are now the focal point of attention. From the human perspective, we have absence of direct contact from advanced guidance. Through meditation, you will find that this is not the case. The light has always been with you. Jurisdiction has been decided, protection has been given, but the manner in which this experience plays out still leaves room for free will participation. That means what you want the destiny of this planet to become is what it will be, for it is through your choices that it will manifest. Our uniqueness is the element of choice and free will. The scenario allowance for misinformation and manipulation of the truth. The degree of population growth towards critical mass. The effect on the planet's own evolution. The maximum testing and resilience of spiritual connection to the creative source. And through all this, the conclusion is not fully known. Provisions have been made to allow this scenario to play out to its conclusion. The ever-forward progression of our time cycle ensures this. The scenario has been set up perfectly for the maximum test of your spiritual resilience. Our physical reality serves several purposes. As a lesson to all human life forms on Earth and throughout the galaxy and perhaps other galaxies, the situation is so unique and challenging that all observers and participators will be allowed to gain wisdom from the experience. When observed from the greater perspective, spiritually, we are participating in another example of what is required to be able to eventually return to the creative source in further pursuit of being part of another great cycle. The outcome will surely result in an amazing experience. Those who volunteered in service of this mission will be rewarded with a rare spiritual evolutionary opportunity that will be unlike any experience previously encountered. Through the dissolution of this illusion, humanity will learn the respect required when deciding to manipulate universal processes in pursuit of selfish interests. With disregard for pain and suffering, ignorance will now only be known as an excuse for those who choose to be so, not those knowledgeable of the human experience on Earth. Even though this course was set in motion long ago, these events have been turned into an unfathomable lesson, the need for humanity to temperament the ego. We humans on Earth have developed a saying, probably due to being subjected to a plethora of lies, that the truth will always come out in the end. We say this because it's true. One cannot possibly understand without being subjected to it. The truth shall indeed set you free. More precious than any material treasure, it is a gut feeling that doesn't settle with the spirit, and denying it is more than the subconscious could ever digest. During the beginning of the awakening process, you may seem to be feeling anger in being used as a pawn, having your civilization being unwittingly used as a source of spiritual power for the pleasure of egotistical pursuits on a scale barely imaginable. The correct word is audacity. With reflection, that is the point, isn't it? In the end, feel grateful for the opportunity to volunteer at a time when critical thinking will end this absurdity. Through our coming evolution, the enemies of creation will have no choice but to question their own goals. For what is the purpose to hold it back when it can be done? To preserve the institutions, the illusion of power, control, greed, corruption, and negative energy in the form of fiat. The price to be paid will be great indeed, a parasitical paradox to the process of creation, a cancer, with truth being the cure. The realization, with the cure, we don't need the institutions anymore. Considering the prophesized calamities of the future, many would prefer the truth being introduced by the same methods that were allowed for the lies to prosper, such as media, propaganda, false religious intent, to name a few. However, it will come to those who seek it from within and through association of those like-minded, conscious, and on the path to wisdom. At this point, the outcome is blinded to those even with the most accurate predictive technology and clairvoyance. How exciting it is to be woken up at this place. Now, how often does that happen, where you get to immediately participate and rewrite the script of a show you no longer want to watch? We sit here blinded in the sense that no one can predict the future with certainty, nor see the full mechanisms by which events will unfold. You will have a unique perspective to witness and absorb the full extent of this great lesson. The rules of cause and effect, yin and yang, and karma will continue to prevail until they are stopped by each self-responsible individual. End the negative cycle now. The wonderment at this time is the sheer volume of complexity. The truth is unfolding through the communication of man and will disseminate to those of free will who chose to seek it. The internet is an example of a non-linear compound of events, unpredictable by the human perspective until directly immersed in it. You see how impossible of a task it is for linear models of control to suppress this? The thirst for knowledge cannot be quenched when awakened. Now, if we could just peaceably remove the hypnotized from the controlled TV and media. Look forward to the day when mankind ascends and spirits aspire for peaceful relations to those like-minded and allied. We recognize and are grateful for your participation. Ask the light for guidance, forgive yourself, and admit willingness to participate in our true destiny. Rather than being a victim of fate, no longer be frustrated. The chain of events have occurred for the seeding of a new paradigm. The awakening of logic is well at hand.